Hello, and welcome to another watercolor time-lapse video. Today I am painting a pileated woodpecker. It's a woodpecker from North America. It's not a bird I have actually seen in person. So in my reference image, it appears to be evening. There is a strong, low golden light which is falling on the bird from one side. So for my first layer, I am using a tea consistency wash, green tea consistency wash, you can call it. And I am pretty much literally painting in the color of the light, which on the part of the bird where the light is hitting is golden. And the other part, which is a little bit shaded from the light, I am covering with a bluish neutral color. I'm working very fast at this stage, and my yellow and my blue are touching each other. And when that happens, I often get the question, why isn't it turning green? Well, if you use the correct pigments, you can avoid the colors mixing and turning green. So in my blue neutral mix, there is a large amount of ultramarine, which is a heavy pigment and it sits where you place it. So that prevents the yellow from flowing too much into it and turning green. So now I'll quickly prop up my sketchbook against the pencil you see there, ensuring that it is now at a tilt. The tilt means that the paint will now begin to flow downwards. And with that in mind, I'm going to start at the very top of the bird with his bright red crest. And as the paint from the crest flows down, I will connect it to other sections which can be considered to be a mid-tone. So I'll now start with the colored patch at the back of his beak and going into his throat. This patch is not connected with the eye marking in the crest, but I will eventually connect it to the rest of the body. Also wanted to give you a little background on why I am painting this particular woodpecker. This one is a part of one of the October art challenges. It's kind of like Inktober, but we are painting birds on each day of October. And this particular woodpecker was the challenge on one particular day. So I've now moved on to the wing of the woodpecker. Here to notice how I try to maintain the feeling of light. The part of his wing which is closer to the light source, I want to maintain that golden tint, the feeling of light on that part. While as I move to the lower edge of his wing, the edge closer to his belly, I am going with a darker, more bluey, purpley kind of brown. As you can see, I have left two white patches on the wing. The woodpecker has white markings, some of his feathers are white, and it might seem like a small touch, but markings like those lend the bird their character. That's how people tend to identify birds. The wash in the neck isn't very wet at the moment, but the wash in the wing is still wet. And what I'm doing now is I'm connecting those two washes. One thing I'm very careful to integrate into my woodpecker is those white patches on his belly. As with the white patches on the wing, they might be small touches, but they are how you identify this particular woodpecker. They are the markings which give him his character. In my sketch, since it's a very small notebook, the tail is actually going off the page, and I don't want too much attention to be drawn to his tail. So I'm trying not to leave too many sharp edges. And I have a similar approach for the leg as well. Not as dark as the tail, but again, I don't want the viewer's attention to go there. One thing I want the viewer to notice is the golden light, and I'm going to indicate a hint of it near the woodpecker's leg as well, coming through the gap between his leg and his tail. And I want to indicate somewhat of a halo type effect happening on the feathers which are being hit by the light. Again, I don't want any sharp edges in my shadows, so while my wash is still wet, I am going to add dark paint where it is required. So now our big washes are done. This is where I am going to focus on the smaller details of the bird. This is where everything slows down. Adding some quick strokes to indicate the overlaps between the layers. Can I call them layers? Layers of the wing. I'm also using the side of my brush to put in a little bit of texture on the feather. This is just to give an indication that the surface isn't smooth and there are bits of feather sticking out. I also want to separate the wing from the belly, and want to add a little bit of soft but dark area demarcating the separation between the two. Unfortunately, a little bit of the ultramarine from the first layer was getting lifted up because the brush I was using was a synthetic one. So I had to again come in with darker paint. I managed to pull it off in this case, but that was a risk. I have the same approach for the head and the eye area now. Adding a few dark bits here and there, indicating texture of the feathers. So now what is left is the eye and the beak. I think I'll start with the eye first. Maybe just put down a flat, even wash of some golden color. Next, I'll tackle his beak. His beak has a cerulean bluish type color, which I am mixing at the moment. Might have gone a little too strong with it, might need to lift some of it off there. And as the paint is still wet, I'm going to add a little bit of darker color to the tip of his bill, as I can see in the reference image. I'm also going to proceed to stretch that dark to indicate the separation between the top and bottom half of his bill. And we can now move on to the eye. As always, I'm just going to lift out a little bit of paint at the bottom part of his eye. Yeah, sometimes I get distracted. I'm working with the eye and I see something wrong with the wing and I can't wait. I'm afraid I might forget it in the end, so I jump to it as soon as I see it. Back to the eye then. Just going to add in his eyeball, which will be a flat layer of black. And white gouache to indicate a highlight. A few more finishing touches here and there, and we're done with our woodpecker. I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, please like and subscribe, do all the YouTube things. There will be more of these coming soon, and I hope you will join me for them.